Ms. Wykoff, thank you so much for this. You want to tell your story, so let's start at the beginning. Where and what year were you born?
I was born in Welch area
Okay.
in the Jeff Davis Parish in the year of 1934.
Wow, okay.
Always, that was kind of cut the close almost of the Depression.
Yes, right in the middle of the Depression.
Yes.
Definitely. What do you remember from your childhood? Do you have any memories of fun times or not so fun times during those times?
Yeah, during the period, I would say from 5 years on, I can remember what happened in my life. But before that, I had polio.
Really?
And it was discovered by, or uncovered by my older sister. And I was crawling and I was dragging the left leg. And it was noticeable. And from there, my grandmother took me to New Orleans. The doctor sent me to New Orleans Charity Hospital there.
Yes.
And I did have surgery to lengthen whatever the leg was, drawing up, whatever it was.
Sure.
So but the only thing I can remember about that was a real bright light over my head. I'm sure this was in an operating room.
Yes.
And it said I became afraid of people with white clothes. The nurses wore white. So I know I can remember just a bright light. But
And that's probably from the surgery, or
Yeah.
it could have been something else.
Yeah, something else.
That,
So that area there of my life. But by having polio at that time, most people didn't survive it.
Yes.
And it damaged their lungs and somewhere in the iron lungs. But I was
Yes.
fortunate enough the Lord spared me to live through that. But I do have a little scar tissue on one of the lungs.
Okay.
From that time on, I was taken to the clinic in Lafayette. I remember we would go and they would check me out and they start giving me braces. I wore braces.
Braces on your legs?
Leg. I wore braces on this leg.
Okay.
Because this leg actually is 2.5 inches shorter than the right leg.
There we go.
So I wore braces up to my knee and I wore up to my waist with a band around my waist. But it didn't stop me from what I wanted to do. So,
You were pretty active? Did you play?
Always was into something, so I was very active and very nosy of this thing. I wanted to see and wanted to know. So at that period of time, my parents saw to it that when I became of school age, that I had to live with relatives that was in the little town because we didn't have transportation or I said to myself, I never got a chance to ride a yellow bus, school bus. Because they were riding buses in that area. That time we didn't have buses for the blacks. So, but we survived all of that because I finished grade school there in Fenton, Louisiana.
Okay.
Small town.
Yes.
And that went as far as the 8th grade.
Okay.
From there, from the 8th grade, during the time I was in the 8th grade, from 1st grade on up, I loved to read.
Okay.
I would read all the readers we had the brown readers, and one of the books was Bobby Nancy could write, clip it clap, Bobby Nancy could write. So that was almost a repetition. If you were smart enough, you could memorize that. So, but anyway, that was one of the things that I love to do, and also in that area, from that time, my aunt who was a teacher in the little town. She taught me a song that said "All the Way," entitled "All the Way," and it's saying, "Use me, Lord, in Thine service. Draw me nearer every day. I'm willing to run all the way." So that's been my motto more or less in life, all the way.
You remember the teacher's name?
Yes, I do know her name.
What's her name?
Her name was Hazel Keys.
Hazel Keys, okay.
She was married to my uncle.
Okay, and she taught in Fenton?
She taught in Fenton.
Fenton, Louisiana.
And she was
Okay.
from New Orleans.
All right.
And she could play the piano, and she also was piano for the church.
Now, I see a piano behind you. Do you play the piano?
Minimum.
Okay.
She taught me the basic, and when she moved away, then more or less I was self-taught. And that did take some more lesson when I came to Lake Charles, and there was another music teacher that taught me.
Okay, all right.
But I can play basically the hymns and what I love to do, that, you know.
Wonderful.
So,
Wonderful.
so that's why it was that area of my life I can remember vividly, and that gave me a love for reading, because in reading you travel, you can picture what's
Yes.
there.
Yes.
And when I came to high school, the librarian introduced me to books or novels, and the first novel I read was The Good Earth by Pearl Book, and I never forget it.
Yes. What high school did you go to?
Started at Second Ward Colored School, and
Yes.
they built W.O. Boston
Absolutely.
on Shattuck Street there.
Great school.
And 50, I think that's when it
Okay,
stopped.
1950. Okay.
Yeah, 1950s.
All right.
So I finished there, and so let's see. So I will say that my parents always believed in education, and even our entire family. And my mother would tell me, be kind. If I'm kind, then would be in return, people would be kind to me.
Yes.
And my dad said, if you're working, do an honest day's work for honest day's pay. He was worked in the rice field. He did on the farm, and
Wow.
and so,
So he would drive tractors or combines
yeah,
and
he drove the tractor. He didn't do combines. He did the tractor. Because when
tractors.
combines came out, well, he had to retire, you know.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And so he worked in, and also in that time in the field, the rice field, they had indigo, lots of indigo, because they didn't have poison.
That's right.
And my sisters, older ones, worked. I put in indigo,
Okay.
and that's how they got extra money to get their clothing for school.
Wow.
The first four.
How many sisters or and brothers do you have?
We was 6 girls and two males.
My goodness. Okay.
So that was the oldest one when I moved to Lake Charles in 1948. Yes, I stayed the first year with my uncle,
Okay.
who was a pastor and also my godfather, and he taught me the scriptures, and I loved to read. I read.
So he was a pastor?
Yeah, he was a
What
pastor.
church?
He pastored. Church in Fenton was called Rose Hill.
Okay.
And that,
Beautiful name.
yes, and that church stayed in existence, and I forgot the year it was merged with another church that was also in Fenton, and it was called St. Joseph.
Okay.
So the two churches merged, and so they kept the name Greater St. Joseph.
Got you.
So now they got another name, but anyway, I came through that area, and being in the church, I would teach the Sunday school class. But by that time, I was 12 and 14 years of age.
So you were teaching a Sunday school class at the age of 12 to 14. That's beautiful. That's excellent.
Because I had a love for the scriptures.
Yeah.
Because I remember that I was baptized at the age of 9.
Okay.
I not just baptized in the water. I, as a child, was drawn like somebody just was pulling me toward the invitation to discipleship. And I felt just a supernatural. Ooh, hallelujah.
That
And I
is.
never forget because it was the year of 1943.
Okay.
And we were baptized in the area where they had the deep water wells to water the rice field, and my sister and I both were baptized at the same time.
Okay.
So that's why I had such a love for people and loving the Lord.
I know those water wells in the country. That's cold,
Cold.
clear water.
But he had a way, he would pinch our nose,
Yes.
and dip us real quick. So if we were having a revival in the fall of the year, but when it was cold, well, we had to wait till the spring of the year.
Yes. Yes.
When it was pumping the water so we could be baptized. So that was one of the real highlights of my childhood there.
That's wonderful.
Let's see where else I can go from there. Taught Sunday school. I said the love for books.
Yes.
And one of the things that I read about gable roofs and the wide doors,
Yes.
and I could picture that. And I was fortunate enough that when I became 22 years old, I had an aunt cousin that lived in L.A.
Alexandria.
No, Los Angeles.
Los Angeles. Okay.
She had a boarding school, and she had one of those log houses with the gables and the little things at
Yes.
the rooms at the top,
Yes.
and a big wide door. I said, Lord, look here. And I was just so excited about that. I have a picture somewhere, but I can't even think about
The
finding
pictures
it.
live in your memory or in your
live in my memory,
imagination until then.
And that was just a joy of my life because she had come to visit my grandmother, and she said, I'm going to give you a ticket to come to L.A. one day. And she did. She kept that bargain up, and I was 22 years old when I got a chance to go to.
So that was the
Hello.
mid-50s.
Yeah, in the
Kind
50s.
of around there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So that was one thing that by dreaming and reading, and I said, well, I got a chance to see it in the natural.
That's beautiful.
All right, let's see, can I move on? Page 2. That's in the high school. When I went back to high school. Well, I completed the high school in 52.
Okay.
Yes. Well, and during the time I was in high school, I had home economics, was taught by one of the teachers. And
Okay.
she taught sewing and cooking.
Sure.
And one thing we had to do was to use a pattern to sew.
Right.
And she told us, good, don't take this home. Because on the pattern they had, do not cut the back. You laid the pattern out for a skirt. But you had to lay it out and you could just cut on the east side.
Yes.
So I cut it in the back.
Oh, goodness.
So she know I got a scolding from the teacher.
Was that your freshman year or?
Yeah, it had been probably a sophomore year.
Okay,
Yeah,
all
that's when
right.
we had home economics then,
Okay.
which that's missing now because they're doing something else.
Okay.
So that was one of the high school things that I got into, and I also learned we didn't have drums for music. We used a bamboo chair.
Really?
With the drumsticks. We had the sticks, but we
Okay.
had a bamboo chair,
Okay.
and the teacher would teach us the rhythm of how to do
Right. The
keep-
percussion
keep-
rhythm.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
That's what we did. So I was,
Did you play the drum?
No, we never got a drum.
Or did you play the bamboo?
Yeah, I played the bamboo. Oh,
okay.
yeah, I learned how to play the bamboo. And I was
Okay.
telling the youngsters, I said, I know how to play the drum. I saw we had drums at the church, and I got on there. I could do it pretty good, you know, have the foot pedal and all of that. But anyway,
Yes.
they didn't believe me. I said, well, I learned how to play the drums by playing on a bamboo chair.
Nice.
So we knew how to improvise.
That's
But
excellent.
it didn't stop us, you know.
Yeah.
Whatever you put in mind to do, that's what will happen.
Yes.
And then later on, when I finished high school, I had a burning sensation that I wanted to go to be a missionary. So my uncle, who was my pastor and godfather, he said to me, I would rather you go to college,
Okay.
get some training that you would be able to work to support yourself. And then later on, you will see whether you would go in that field or not.
Okay.
So I did go, but I never stopped working in the church and conventions and whatever that was available, and Bible studies and all of that. So because when you're called and chosen, you first have to be prepared. You have to prepare yourself.
Yeah.
So to be chosen of God, with the disability that I had, I wouldn't have been able to travel anyway, go to foreign land to be a missionary. But I did take all those courses that were available here in the city. But one pastor from the Cary Association started a school for the black ministers here, and my uncle and his wife.
Here in Lake Charles?
Here in Lake Charles, and that
Okay.
was back in the 50s, yeah.
Okay.
And both of them graduated with a degree because it was certified school.
Excellent. Okay.
So they pursued education too, and so when he went to school, he preached better,
Yes. So it was a school to make you a better minister.
Yeah, make you a better minister.
Wonderful.
And then we had another one, New Sunlight. Another one was headed by the Reverend Washington, and that was certified.
In Washington, Louisiana?
No, Washington. No, Reverend Washington. I forgot his first name, but anyway, I went to that school. So when I was enrolled, he said, well, I don't want you to get the one but the preaching, because you're going to be critiquing preaching. I said, well, that's all right. I sat there and listened anyway, so they couldn't stop me from listening when they were teaching, always
Right.
there to hear. So that was the preparation in terms of continuing on in the ministry, of which I've been ordained in 3 different churches.
Wow.
So now I'm at home more or less now, just counseling.
So right now, you're still ministering. You're here in your home.
Here in the home.
That's
When
beautiful.
they do come, I want to know, do they really know who Jesus is?
Yes. That's beautiful.
And he first prepared me as an intercessor.
Okay, what does that mean?
An intercessor that you pray for others.
Got you. Okay.
And me being always questioning, I told the Lord, I don't know these people.
Yeah. Yes.
He told me in the spirit, speaking, in inwardness, he's saying to me, I'm calling the names. All I want you to do is pray. So I said, even the Holy Ghost had a hard time with me at the beginning.
But you soon got the message.
Oh, yeah, I got the message, and I've been on the battlefield like that forever. But now I'm still doing that. So after let's see, can I jump from there to?
Yeah. How old were you when you were doing this? Was this in the 50s or early 60s?
Started it in some of it in the 50s. But I finished college in '56.
Okay.
But I worked 25 years in this Caucasian district
Okay.
As a teacher
As a teacher?
yes,
Okay.
for 25 years. I retired when I was 50 years old because I could have remained to get
Yeah.
the full retirement benefits, but I took a cut in salary because I retired on the leading of the Holy Spirit because I'd asked the Lord for a job and what I wanted to do with the money when I went to work. I wanted to improve my parents' house, so I purchased a house,
Nice.
and that was completed. So when the salary was just beginning to increase in 1983,
Okay.
the Spirit of the Lord said to me, your career is over. For what you've asked for, I've done that. You asked for a job, you asked that you would get a better house for your parents, that's done.
Yes.
And I said, yes, I do recall. So God keeps his promises.
Yes. What did you do after that?
Going to the association, teaching in the association, we had the Calcasieu Baptist Ministerial Association.
Yes.
I would teach there.
Okay.
I would teach Vacation Bible School,
Absolutely.
and that was my passion there. My
Nice.
sister and I, we would go every summer.
Who's that?
My sister and I have an older
Okay.
sister, and she was a retired teacher too.
Oh, nice.
She was working, she was working. And we would go every summer and at the church that we belonged to in the little town of Fenton that we had Vacation Bible School. And she had an opportunity to lead my daughter to Christ. But that was the main purpose.
Nice.
Besides the coloring and doing everything else, was to make it plain that you could trust the Lord more than you even trust your own parents. And that's how it was explained to me,
Yeah.
that he would be first in their lives.
That's beautiful that you, for years,
Yes.
gave these people the gift that, yeah, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. What else do you have on your sheet?
Well,
that
let's
you
see
want?
now. All right, I want to give you some travel that I was involved in.
Besides California?
Yeah, besides California.
All right.
I've been there. I went there twice after that because I went, and when she moved to Nevada, I went there too.
Nevada, all right.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's a big difference.
Yes, in Las
California,
Vegas.
LA and Nevada.
I wanted to go to Las Vegas, and I finally got a chance to see what is that famous hotel where they make all the movies out of it. Back
Caesars, maybe?
Caesar's Palace.
Absolutely. Oh, my gosh.
Everything gold.
Yes, yes.
So I told him I got a chance to go to Caesar's Palace. That's when my daughter got married, and she wanted to get married.
All
But she didn't
right.
do inside now. She wanted to go to back Vegas to be married. But she wanted outside. But she had a suite at Caesar's Palace. So I got a chance to sleep in the bed at
Oh,
Caesar's
that's
Palace.
good.
Way to go, May.
Yes.
She had some unusual stuff, and I guess she got it from me because I was always adventurous, always wanted to go. So when I was in college, when I was a junior, a gentleman had come to speak to the ladies in the dormitory, some summer jobs, and he had a brochure that would get placed on a bulletin board saying you could go to New York and you would be a live-in maid for the summer, and you would take care of whatever they told you to do,
Yeah.
and you would make some money. So two of us said they was going to go, but then when it's time to leave, they backed out. And the other girl rode with one of the professors that was from the New York area. But I was so brave, I rode the bus, the Greyhound bus, all the way to New York City.
Oh,
Oh, my goodness.
And I look back on it, I said, you're not going to leave all this. I said, Lord was just taking care of fools. So it panned out because who had advertised about people hiring. Well, I arrived, I guess, on a Saturday, and I spent the night at the YMCA
Yes.
in Harlem.
Okay.
So-
Yes. Yes.
And I was right next to the building of one of the famous choirs, and they were practicing a cappella singing for Sunday service, and it was such a thing for me because I loved the opera
Yes.
because we had to listen to Metropolitan Orchestra Symphony as a class assignments when I was in college.
Really? All
Yeah.
right.
So I developed a love for that.
Yes.
So that, but going with this trip here to New York, I got a family that the dad, the lady, he had polio. So they
Okay.
hired me because she could empathize. They could empathize with me, you know.
Yes.
So the strangest thing, the husband was Italian, and the lady was Irish. So
Oh my goodness. That's a combination.
what a combination! So from there, I was able to go to Jones's Beach.
Where?
Jones's Beach out on Long Island. I worked
Okay.
on Long Island. And I remember the time I named Massapequa.
I've heard the name.
That's
Okay.
where I worked at. When they had a little boy, I was just watching, and the little girl was sent to camp. So I was just there over here. She and her mother and dad, you know. But I also had a chance to go into New York City.
Nice.
I had to ride the subway to get into the city.
Yeah.
And I went to the two largest department stores in New York, which is Yarmouth and Macy's.
Yes.
I went in one door in one street, and I came out on the other side.
They are large stores.
Large stores.
Yes.
And the lady was one of the girls was supposed to meet me, and they never did show up. So I just took off and went on.
My goodness.
So after I was there a while, one lady I met, she had hired two ladies from Central America, and they had an apartment in New York City. So they invited me to come to spend when she was off on the weekend, and we went for the Sunday. And we got a chance to go to see, we went to Rockefeller Center,
Oh, nice.
Empire State Building.
Absolutely.
But I went by myself. I had been there already by myself, but they wanted to go, so we went. The top floor is 102 stories, and when you look down, you know, you see all these little things.
Yes.
So that was a highlight there. We went in the lobby of Radio City Music Hall. So I said, we're not dressed to go inside, you know, what's going on. We were beginning to look at, we had on pants at the time, but I was able to see all of that. I mean, I think you read about it, but you know, to experience it.
Right.
But people were very kind during the 50s, you know, they were
Yes. Yeah.
not like they are now. Because in the station, when I rode into the station from Long Island, I had a package to go, overnight bag, and you had, and there was lockers, and I had never had a locker. Because I think maybe we had them in high school. I think after I left, they had lockers where you put your books in.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to put this package in there. And I said, this thing, but I didn't realize you had to put the money in first.
Ah.
So I stood there a while. I said, nah, I'm looking around. But you saw all different people from everywhere in that station.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was Grand Central Station, and it was the Port Office Station. It had to have been Grand Central Station.
Yes. Yeah.
So when the people seemed to be lodging around, well, they had caps, what they call caps, and they would come and ask you where you're going. You waited for somebody or something like that.
Okay.
It was relatively safe.
Okay.
And I also got to go to the largest post office because I met a gentleman in there.
Wow.
Took me to go and see one of his workers, sister working there. Okay. So I had a chance to see a whole lot of what I had been reading about.
Wow, that's right.
So when I came back home, I in the world, how your parents let you go? Well, they didn't know where I was going. but all they did was to pray. I know they were praying,
Yes.
and I knew the Lord was going to take care of me. I was just that brave and had that much faith.
Yeah. That's it.
So if I could have done that, I did have that experience. So when I was teaching, I could tell them, you know, I've seen
Right.
this.
And that's invaluable to
And
let the young people know
No.
what a little faith and strength can do.
Yes.
That was during a summer, or was that for more than
That was just in the summer.
In the
Just in
summer,
the summer, because I came back and then came back to school and
to
finished.
school? Okay. But what a summer,
Senior.
my
Yeah,
gosh.
yeah.
Eye-opening. That's
I didn't make
beautiful.
any money, but I bought a few things, you know, souvenirs I thought I need to bring back and all. But it was just a very good experience for me. And then after that, when I retired in '83, my brother-in-law and I organized a group that we called Save Our Youth.
Okay.
It was the purpose of having meetings and getting them involved with activities to know something about life in terms of what it was something else besides Jennings and Welch and Fenton, the surrounding areas, because the youth we had came from those areas.
Yes.
And then and during that time, you could charter a bus. The Greyhound bus would run tours. So the Greyhound bus, we took the first trip they did when they went to Colorado.
Colorado. That's
Yeah.
wonderful.
And my daughter was 9 years old when she went there. But she wasn't supposed to go, but they found out that she couldn't stand heights.
Oh, yeah.
So on the
There's some heights there.
So the second trip, we went to 1983 when I retired.
Okay.
We chartered a bus and we had the maximum with the chaperones and all.
Okay.
And we toured we left out of Jennings. We went to Niagara Falls, all the way
In a bus.
on the bus.
My
But
goodness.
we had to stop.
Sure. Oh, yes.
And
Yeah.
so when we were coming back, when we were going, we stopped at, I think, Oral Roberts University. We stopped in
Right.
Memphis, Tennessee, at the Lorraine Hotel, where, was
Wow.
the assassination of the
That's
Martin Luther
right.
King,
Yes.
and several other places. And yes, we stopped in New York. We went to Long Island, to the Statue of Liberty.
Nice.
I went on the grounds because I couldn't walk all the stairs to go up,
Sure.
but
Yes.
that was a very good experience.
I can imagine. So all these young people
Young people were there.
from Welsh and
Well,
Jennings and Fenton
Fenton, yes.
took, oh my goodness, what a history and geography and
Yes.
just beautiful lesson.
And
That's
from
wonderful.
for some that saw all of this, it gave them an incentive to want to leave the little town when they
Yes.
finished 8th grade if they couldn't go to high school,
Yes.
and to do something with their lives, and they would come back and say to us, "Thank you." Wow. They were inspired to do better in life,
That's
and that
beautiful.
was our main goal: save our youth.
Yes.
And I can recall I wrote a song, but I forgot it. I picked it out, I made it sing on the piano too, so that was the highlight of my retirement. So they made 2 trips. But that was what, in a small town, did for the children that were interested, that wanted to see the world.
Yeah. That's wonderful.
And that was the travel there.
Okay. All right. Now you talked about you have one daughter
Yes, I have
and
one.
she lives in Houston.
Yes, she's
All right.
she works in Baytown.
In Baytown, okay.
Yeah.
I know
She's-
Baytown.
Yeah, she's a speech pathologist.
Really? Oh, that's a wonderful field. My wife is a social worker who
Yeah.
works with speech pathologists in the school system here.
She's certified to work private or in school system, but she says she wants to stay there a while. So, and she can work hospital, clinics, or anybody else.
Absolutely.
But she didn't have any children, so she was married. She went, she married when I said she went to Vegas.
Yes.
But
That's
anyway,
So you retired in '83, and
1983.
you continue to minister in things and helping people.
Yes.
Is there? I mean, you talked about a little bit about growing up in a time when, there weren't many rights for you and your family.
Yes.
Do you have anything you would want to say about that for your descendants, for your family who's listening?
During the Depression and it was left, and while I can remember, we had stamps rationing. It was ration. They rationed food.
Yes, yes.
And
During the Depression.
Yes, and that's when they came out with the lace stockings.
Yes.
Because they used all that nylon, what they say, for the parachutes.
That's right.
They had lace
Yes.
stocking. But during that time, we were taught to be respectful to the opposite race, because in the little town, we had our school, 1 through 8, and the white people had theirs.
Yes.
And quite naturally, they had to go to the post office.
Of course.
They would meet up after school, and they would fight each other. But anyway, but they got along. So to stop all that fighting, they would let one school out earlier than the other one, so they would be home before.
They figured it out. Okay.
They figured it out.
Yeah.
But I said, when they put the school buses, I was trying to think about when they started with the school buses. I wasn't in school then. The buses would pass every evening. I'd go and sit on the porch and watch the school bus go by.
Oh, wow.
That's why I say I never got a chance to
Exactly.
ride.
Yes.
But I wasn't bitter. I wasn't bitter about that, because our parents was one that Christian, and then teach us hate.
Yes.
Because we learned that we were tolerant with each other.
Y'all were what?
We could tolerate
Yes.
some seem like suppression.
Yes.
Because I could have gone to McNeese when I finished high school in the 50s, but they made laws stating if the principal signed the paper, they would be punished. So when I graduated, most people had to go to either Southern or Grambling.
Got you.
So I chose to go to Southern because the cold weather there.
Up in Ruston, it gets cold up there, definitely.
Survive and slip down, but it was a good experience. But then that time that we didn't have that bitterness of
Right.
you over me, and
Yes.
we had a chance to learn. I said what Caucasian was about, and they got a chance to learn us, because they thought we only was maids in the kitchen, and that that black people were slaves, but they weren't slaves. They wouldn't made them slaves when they brought them from Africa.
Exactly.
They had come from very prominent,
Yes.
and they had their
And
tribe.
royalty.
They had their tribal, all of that. So that was one thing that we were taught, that you are somebody, and never let anybody put you down. You can do it. And the motto was, I can do all things through Christ Jesus. You can't do them without.
Yes.
Because they've said maybe some mean things.
Yeah.
But in our little town, we got along.
Good.
So I didn't have, only thing that we encountered when we had to walk the house that we on along 165.
Yes.
Along the highway there, if you ever been through it, 165, you see the graveyard to the right?
Yes.
Well, that's the Rose Hill. It's named the Rose Hill Graveyard. Still haven't put the sign up.
Okay.
And we had to walk from the little town, I guess 3/4 of a mile to the house.
Okay.
And we were, a lot of time were picked on by grown-ups that were riding in the trucks and all that. Come on, little girl, you want to ride? And one day I was walking by myself. I told my sister, I don't want to go. Come on, let's go home. Because my
Yes.
grandmother lived in the village in which I could walk sometime to the house, but I was walking with somebody. But even with that, that's the only thing that we encountered as a
So-
family, that we were picked on
Picked on.
by people riding in the
Right. But you were strong enough to say,
Yeah,
no, get out of
but,
here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I knew that we were being protected with prayers of the righteous, because we would go to prayer meeting on Wednesday night, my mother and I and
Yes.
the children, and people stop. You want to ride? You want to ride? And when they chased my mother and my youngest sister through the area, so she said my husband is down waiting on us. But that was about the biggest thing.
That's the major
Yeah.
experience that
Yeah,
you
I
had.
didn't
Okay.
have. I thought people were kind because they were in the same position in terms of not very rich, because they all were farmers, and they felt the pinch too, because
Yes.
if all the banks shut down, like all that happened. You may take all that out,
Yes.
but anyway. So all the time, one time they said all they could eat was milk. They had a cow and they had rice. Milk and
Yes.
rice, milk and rice, milk and rice.
Yes.
But they shared whatever it had
Nice.
until Roosevelt came in with the New Deal.
Yes.
They help out move the country.
Yes.
But that was a really bad time for some.
And you were there, and you can
Yeah,
testify to
yeah,
that.
because I had cousins who went to the military to the war. No
He was
more.
in World War II?
Yes,
Okay.
'cause my brother was in World War II.
Okay.
And he went to France, and he would tell us how the people had been told that we were monkeys. So they went
Oh
to
my
South people.
goodness.
But they found out it wasn't so. What happened when the war was over? Well, when they gave him out there, they made a lot of brown babies over there, but, which wasn't good. But anyway,
Right.
so what makes it good is you can't legislate love. And why are we having so much discord? Because one wants to be here and he's supposed to be down here.
Yes.
So when we as Christians, we have to let our light so shine all the time. We can't speak it, we have to live it. Because where there's darkness, light disperses. All in water doesn't mix. Light and darkness can't stay in the same place. Just a little light dispel the darkness. So if we have a leader that cherish or respect people, just human beings, because they ain't but one race, is human race.
Yes.
So the outside is not what you see.
That is beautiful, Ms. Wykoff. Thank you for sharing that. And you're,
So one more thing, the last thing I want to say.
is there something else?
Yeah, I want to do this, say this. One thing I asked the Lord, if I had to get a home, I wanted to be a home of peace, a home of refuge. And this house, dedicated. I've had many people come to stay just a little while. When they come, I tell them, just come in, take a seat. Don't say anything.
Yes.
I had one young man came when we got this new refrigerator here. He put it in, he said, I had to come back the next day, because he said, when I walked in this house, I felt so much of peace. What is it here? I said, well, that's one prayer that I asked the Lord for. So the house was dedicated for that particular purpose.
Peace and refuge.
Peace and refuge.
And
Because
he felt that whenever
when
he
you
was
went anytime they
here
walk
and he
in,
wanted to come back.
even a little fellow that I like call him, young man that delivers medicine from me.
Carmichael's.
Yes.
Nice.
He said, I want to come back. He said, I feel something here. So he told me he was a new Christian and he was learning, and we shared some things.
Oh my gosh.
So that if I can just help just one somebody.
It sounds like you've helped thousands.
Yeah, my living is not in vain. And when I went to church on yesterday, I was just stirred up again because I was gotten sore. I said, Lord, what else is left for me to do? You know, I was to tell you that. So I've had some encouragement.
Yes.
It's not about this body here because we know it's going to go back to the dust from which it's come.
Yes.
So we're waiting for the report, but I'm not worried.
Okay.
Because we all got to leave here, and then in the family, I became more or less the matriarch. The young relatives always come, want to know what I'm thinking. What is it? I said, well, you need to pray about it. And if you know who Jesus is, he's going to give you the best. But you have to put out the best.
Yes.
So they called me as a nickname, I'm the boss. I said, well, y'all made me the boss. And then the last church I was in, they made me the mother of the church. I said, well, y'all you gave me authority, the mother, all of these people in here. When I walked in yesterday, the preacher said, I've been praying for the Lord to send me a senior person. Here I am. I said, well, whatever I can do. So I told him I danced and clapped my hands till I was saying was so. And I got tired getting up and down. Some of this you're going to take out, but anyway.
That's fine.
So anything else you want to ask me, I hope I answered that.
Thank you.
concern.
I guess, the person you are today and what you've become, what would you like to tell your family 50 years from now? The most important thing.
The most important thing is first putting Jesus Christ as your Savior. The Spirit of the Lord comes in and dwells you. You see, He's your guide and your teacher before you make any decisions. And you're always going to have what you need because He said He will supply all you need according to His riches and glory.
Yes.
And it's going to be in a glorious manner.
And not in our time,
And
but
not
in
in
His
time.
time.
His time is always perfect.
Yes.
And main thing is we need to learn patience.
Yes.
Wait, He say, wait. The answer sometimes is wait, yes, no. But I say all the answers from the Lord are always yes. Even when it's no, it's yes.
Yes.
Because He's going to give you what is the best
Yes.
for you.
Yes.
And don't put your eyes on what other people have.
Right. Yeah.
Be sure that you fulfilling your calling.
Yes. We all have a purpose.
Yes.
So.
I don't know why. The Spirit's getting on me right now.
No, that's
feel-
nothing.
Yeah.
This has been an honor and a joy talking with you. And I understand what they were meaning because this is a very peaceful and wonderful place, and I appreciate you doing that, or inviting me in. And so I'll let you know whenever somebody's looking at it, and remember, you're gonna tell us what goes in this. So
Yes.
that's it's going to be yours, and we're just going to help you do it. So anything else before we turn off the microphones?
Missy, do you remember anything I told you that you want me to relate to? Can you recall?
I think it was just important to me that people understood your polio experience at that time. And, other than that, just the strength that you've had overcoming everything that's been
Yes,
put in your path.
Because I've had one of the lawyers, who going to hire you? You're not going to get any work. But that didn't deter me. So I said, I know whom I serve. And what purpose I'm here for.
And you are definitely doing that purpose
Yes.
and helping many. So, well, thank you very much, Ms. Wykoff, and to be continued. We'll, I'll be happy to come back if there's anything else you wanna talk about. Okay.
Yes.
All right.